Your favorite Marvel Comics hero. Mine is Superman. Remember the motto? With great power comes great responsibility.
Hello everyone, John and Carla here. We are the creative team behind the Grim Reaper. Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. This is John Gallagher here. We're accompanied by the lovely.
Hello everybody, welcome to Waikai Comics, your new favorite YouTube channel. Yeah, it's the two of us today, baby. How do you feel?
Oh, I feel good. A little tired after work, but glad to be here. Happy to be here with you all.
This feels like some ESPN narration from a sport.
Yeah, it's all good. We apologize for not being too much on camera, but it's just basically just a lighting issue today. And it's been raining like crazy here in Arizona. We usually kind of rely on the natural light out here with the windows and whatnot because the place we have the computer in is a little dark. But yeah, it's been cloudy day. So yeah, we actually have a really cool guest today. A good friend of ours. He's actually, well, they actually think they are brother and sister. They don't know because seems like my wife's father had a little bit of a crazy time.
Hey!
But yeah, we have our great friend.
Then that makes me a blue blood, right? Because it's a king we're talking about here.
It's actually, it's the Boner King himself, Vinny Tardamela.
Woohoo! Welcome, Vinny!
Hello, everybody. How we doing?
It's going well, man. How about yourself?
Not too bad. Not too bad. Yeah, it's great to be on my sister's show.
It's your thing, and your brother-in-law. Don't forget about me.
That's of course, my brother-in-law John.
I don't come too often, but you know, I still pay for the bills. I'm just playing. Carla does as well. So
no, yeah, like since this is one of the few times that John is here with me in the stream, I'm gonna let him take over more because I think he really enjoys it. So yeah.
Oh yeah, love talking to friends, love talking to this wonderful audience. Shout out to Mr. Joe Frogo, who never misses a live stream at all, and he's always there pushing and promoting these books.
He's
Yep.
a big
Wonderful guy, great friend as well.
He's a great guy. Hail Joe.
Hail to the frog himself and the sexy dance king. We have a bunch of kings here, you know.
Oh yeah.
So, it's
Royalty.
yeah, nothing but royalty here. All right, so tell us, Vinny, how's it going, man? How's it been lately?
Pretty good. It's been busy but good. You know, getting a lot of work done. Gearing up for the next projects too. But first, you know, like we got to close out Through the Woods, the collected hardcover edition. You know, I got about 6 days left on that. And you know, we're a little bit less than $1,000 away from hitting that stretch goal that unlocks the ash can that has Kelsey Shannon's cover. You know, and the other great CGers who are going to be in that book. But yeah, it's this thing I'm really excited about, and I'm not sure if people understand what exactly it is. The ash can is going to be like a slightly smaller comic book size, but it's going to have like behind the scenes stuff, sketches. It's going to have drawings from the other artists who were part of that drawing competition for Through the Woods. But this is a gift for the first 60-day backers. So anybody who backs before March 19th, you're part of that. So if we hit 25K, you guys are going to get an extra free book added on top of this, which I think is going to be amazing. You know, and a really special gift. But that's my way of saying thank you. But we got to hit that number before the 19th. Otherwise, it's not going to happen.
That is wonderful, and I very much look forward to it. I guess we were actually within the first backers then.
I hope so.
Yep.
We were there.
Definitely.
Look forward to it.
Yeah.
We will make a review of. So yeah.
Absolutely.
Looking
Beautiful.
forward. Yeah, like Vinny was telling us, it's 6 days left to back this campaign.
Yeah, we have to push it as much as possible. You know, limited time, and you are doing great with, financially speaking, with this book,
Mhm.
right? And so, yeah.
Yeah, well, this is a more expensive book on top of it. So the thing is, like, I'm not going to be getting a lot of profit on this. This is almost all going to printing because hardcover.
Yes.
This thing is not cheap,
Yeah.
and this book only happened because of fans. That's why the stretch goal I made for it is for fans. I wanted to give a really special format, an amazing gift, an amazing product that you guys are paying for. Is the hardcover edition. So yeah, I didn't care what it cost. I just had to cover that price, which that money is going to do. But yeah, this is for you guys. This isn't to make me get a car or anything like that, because that ain't happening. This is strictly for you guys to get a great comic book. Again, this is the only way that I'm going to be doing this, because this was my very first campaign. It was a 3-issue floppy, and I had to go on Pocket to pay for that original run, because we didn't hit anywhere near what I was supposed to hit. And yeah, I know my goal was way too high to begin with, but yeah. So for the fans they kept contacting me after they saw my other campaigns, and they wanted this book. So I said, okay, I'm going to do a really cool campaign for all of you. I'm going to put it in a collected edition. It's going to be a great project. I tweaked up some of the artwork a little bit, so it's a little more sharper, and things that I had problems with because I'm a perfectionist. I had to make sure that was all worked out. We had the book re-edited, so yeah, everything is like, this is the definitive way of getting this comic book now.
You know what, Vinny? Like, I see, like, you're of course the Boner King. Everybody knows you are, because of course the impact you cause in your readers, and you're famous because of this cheesecake. It's called cheesecake, right? It's very sexy ladies, but I don't think that people talk too much about the beefcake.
Yeah, I definitely, over the years, I've had a lot of fans, female fans as well, because well, you've seen in the art books. I do everything, so it's not just the ladies. I make sure everybody looks good.
Yeah, I mean, for a ghost, a zombie, a monster, this looks pretty good, Vinny.
If you ever need somebody, all right, as a reference, you give me a call.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like baby.
All right, so I want to say, the art looks wonderful. As usual, you wouldn't expect less from Vinny. The coloring looks wonderful as well. I really love that kind of backstory color.
Sepia.
Like the coloring of that flashback, if you will, right?
Thank you. Yeah.
And yeah, it's a hardcover edition, guys. So this is a great deal. This is the compilation. If you were a fan of Through the Woods before, this is the compilation of all the stories, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. This is the whole series. It's beginning, middle, ending. You get it all in one spot.
Right. Or if you missed out on the first campaigns like we did, then you get a chance to read it all. And of course, if you're a collector, this is definitely for you, because this is a hardcover edition. I can tell you, Vinny uses the absolute best printer, and you can obviously see the quality of the drawings. But the art speaks for itself. It's wonderful. Tell us about the story. What's the book about?
Yeah, this is essentially, it's a story about an investigative reporter named Laura Langley. She inherits this property in upstate New York that none of her other family wanted, and she couldn't understand why. It's a lot of land. It's a big house. There's a cabin, and she couldn't understand what was going on. And she finds out that, this place might be haunted. And doing further research, she finds out it was an old lumberjack camp about 100 years earlier. And there was a horrible, tragic event that happened there. And it was kind of forgotten about or covered up as well. And so you find out during the course of this book about those events that transpired 100 years in the past, and how it comes to light, now, because she mistakenly reawakens a restless spirit. She was kind of like led to the old cabin in the back of the property, and that's where it kind of happens.
Wow.
But yeah.
Sounds good, man.
Yeah.
What would you say was a big influence for you when you came up with this story?
Well, it's kind of interesting because my brother and I, like, over the years, like since we were kids, we were coming up with different stories and ideas and characters. And, one day I was like watching this kind of special on lumberjacks, and, how dangerous of a life it really was. And, the isolation that they had, and how screwed up it could really be. And it kind of got my gears going in that direction. So like my brother, he had like a funny title in his head. It wasn't Through the Woods. It was something else. But we kind of liked the name. We kind of liked the characters. It was mostly just revolving around the big lumberjack and the little girl in the story. And like my brother would say that it's, he was always been like a fan of Paul Bunyan and that kind of thing. But we let this thing sit forever. We did other work. We had other projects, and right after, or around the time I was working for McFarlane, no, a little bit after, I sat down. This was after a lot of problems I had with Marvel. Like I almost got hired to do Amazing Spider-Man, got screwed out of the job. I was getting fed up with the industry. So I'm like, you know what? We have characters, we have stories. I'm going to develop another one. So I said, let me think of something that could be a little bit more of like a contained story, something that's not an ongoing. If we do it like a mini series or something. And I just came up, I remember about these characters, and I said, you know what? Let me try this. And I did the first layout, the first draft of issue 1, and it was going to be like a straight up horror story, because I'm a big fan of like Evil Dead and that kind of thing. And
Okay.
I've always been like in there, but I didn't want to go demonic necessarily. But I was a fan of revenge stories as well, and redemption arcs and that kind of thing. So I kind of went along those lines, but set it in a horror atmosphere. But yeah,
That's great. Yeah. First of all, I want to say hello to everybody in the chat. Tatsunami, El Guapo, Seg Comics. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listen to the boner stream. I guess you're ready to get your boners. So yeah, we're gonna get that in a few minutes yet. I have a question for Vinny. We're actually taking turns with John. My turn. So I want to ask. You work with your brother, with Frankie, right? Like with your actual brother.
Yeah. Well, yeah, not on everything, but certain projects and stuff like that. Yeah.
So how's like every day at the office with you two? Like how do you work? How do you pull this project together? How do you make it work?
Well, again, in the beginning, kind of smooth, and then we hit some road bumps. We'll call it that. Because the thing is, like, you need to find a compromise on what we're gonna do story-wise and all that. Like when I showed him the first draft of issue 1, he liked it a lot, but he came up with the idea of like, why horror? Why not a little bit more suspense and focus a little more on the ghost aspect of it? So I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I mean, we could do that. So see if you want to take a crack at it. And he wrote up the second draft. And I liked it a lot. It was almost the same story, except we removed the character, and the ending wasn't a bloody mess. It was more like a powerful moment that really left you on a cliffhanger. So we kind of talked about what we were going to do for the next 2 issues, and I let him write it out. But then, like, as we're working, obviously, like, there's certain things I want to show as an artist, and there's certain things he wants to show as a writer, and sometimes they don't always necessarily work the proper way. So yeah, we've had arguments, loud yelling matches.
It happens, man. I can only imagine. I live with one Italian. I can only imagine a house full of them.
But this, you see what the thing is, though? I mean, and a lot of people have seen it too on streams with me. I am very cool and calm about stuff. The only time I get set off is when someone tries to rip me off, or if they try to belittle my work or whatever. Like I could be cool and calm as anybody else, but yeah, don't set me off in a stupid direction. I always try to approach things with logic first. And the thing is, like, some other people like to get way too heated or overreact. I like to underreact, and you know, you got to pick and choose your battles. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I hear you. And sometimes you know, like with everything, there's always gonna be discord.
Yeah.
Isn't avoidable. It's just human nature. But
Mhm.
let me ask you this: so you and your brother have worked on tons of projects together, right? He's a writer. You're an artist, but you are also a writer as well.
Mhm.
Now, what would you say is harder? Because we always have this debate here with Carla. What would you say is harder, to write or to draw?
Well, because for me, it's about storytelling in general, right? If it comes down to me, it comes down to the details on either side. Because sometimes a writer wants to get very specific with everything, the details of the world, the character. You know, let's say someone has a wallet. You know, sometimes for an artist, if they start, oh yeah, it's just, you know, whatever, it's a wallet, and the writer might be like, no, it's a leather wallet that's got embroidery on it. It has a certain weight to it. They get into the description that could be, you know, so much. But it depends if it pertains to the story and it really makes it, you know, a lot more richer. Then yeah, the writer's vision could be more important. But then there are other writers that maybe they're not as detailed, and they have like the overall story is really cool, and then they got to rely on that artist who knows what they're talking about. Like if maybe it's the writer who goes, oh yeah, and he picks up his wallet, and maybe the artist is going, well, maybe that wallet has a special I don't know, a symbol on it. Maybe it pertains to another part of the story that the writer might not have even thought about. It depends where you're coming from, and there's some people could say artists are idiots, and other times people could say writers are idiots, and it's or one's way better than the other. That debate I don't think will ever end.
Yeah. No, I hear you, but
Yeah.
it's always a good thing to ponder about when you work on these projects, because visual storytelling is complicated as it is, but a lot of times you get writers who are very specific, like if they were writing a novel, and I think that does a disservice to you know, to the artist a lot of times. And sometimes, like you say, you know, maybe the writer is too vague, and the artist has to kind of fill in those, I guess, holes, if you will, to
Right.
kind of tell the story for the writer himself. I think obviously it's definitely never going to be a 50-50 amount of workload, because the art is it just takes too much time.
Yeah.
If you're a detail artist, which you are, you know, you definitely have lean more towards like the more realistic style, if you will. Although I've seen that you have very much a lot of versatility in your drawings. You can pretty much just draw any style. But at the same time, I see that your favorite is probably more on the realistic side. Would you say that that's your preferred style?
Possibly, because the thing is, like, I've always been a fan of European artists, and I've also been a huge fan of Frank Frazetta, like most of my life. So like I kind of merged the two. Like I enjoy doing the storytelling and some like the fun drawings of the regular comics, but if I could add just a touch of realism to it, or the approach has some kind of realism to it, to me it feels like it's more cinematic rather than, because there's some people it's just comic books are just way over the top. So
Right.
it's always about the splash page. It's always about that foreshortening, and yeah, you could do that, but I think there are moments, for at least for me and my style that I chose to do and what I've developed over the years, that I think the pacing works a lot better with how I've been doing it. And then when you want to get to those moments with the action stuff, yeah, go for it. Foreshorten, go big. Yeah, I'm always trying to find that balance, but yeah, and the thing is, I love line work. Like they look at my work and they go, oh, he's got that painterly style, and that's mostly what he does. No, I do a ton of fucking line work in everything that I do. I mean, that's one of my sketches. And you can see the level of detail. It's like I'm not half-assing it. I'm going all the way all the time.
For sure, yeah. The amount of details you can definitely tell. Also with the coloring, right? Because I think you did a wonderful job. Like I said, when it comes to the flashback, you know, that is a really special thing that you did right there. That was definitely a moment of inspiration, without a doubt.
Thank you, man.
How'd you come up with that?
Well, it was part of the story, right? So trying to figure out what was like a proper way of doing a flashback. And in like issue 1, this is one of the things like we fought about, because my brother's like, he was more of that traditional mindset of, all right, if we do flashback, we're either going to do it. Actually, he didn't. I had to bring it to him. He didn't know how I was going to do the flashback, and I said, well, I could do it in sepia tones. I think it would work, especially since we're in the woods, we're like the forest. So to have like those browns and golds and that kind of color, it just, to me, it felt natural. If you ever look at those old photographs of like from around the year 1900, they're either black and white or they have like that sepia feel all over them. So I thought it'd be more powerful doing it like that. But there's an important part of the story where we go into sepia, and I know my brother, he was never a fan of this kind of stuff. Like, he thought I was going to do everything regular, full color. But this was very difficult to do because I didn't do a filter or anything. I painted it like that from the get-go. But yeah, there's a part in the story where I went really crazy and I went, all right, we're going to have this flashback, but as we're doing it, there's a very important part to this story. A major event happens. So as we're going into this flashback, I wanted to slowly add color. And by the time you get towards like the last couple of parts, the last pages of this flashback, it's full color. And it's like the viewer was pulled into that photograph, let's say, or pulled into that flashback, and they're there with everyone. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And he was like, I don't know, could you do that? Is it going to work? But when he saw it, he was like, this actually looks really good. Then, when some people were picking up the floppies when I was at conventions and stuff, they were blown away by it. I've had people run over to my table and went, this was so cool. I've never seen this done before. I'm like, all right, I know what I did work then,
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Now, let me ask you this about the story again, because as you know, I'm mostly interested in stories when I read a comic book. I love the art, of course, but I think it's a good complement between the story and the art that really makes a great book, right?
Right.
Now, I love tons of ghost stories, all right? I love ghost stories. And I think one of the, and I know, obviously now that I'm grown up, I watch movies that I used to enjoy as a kid, and I think they're really stupid nowadays when I watch it, right? But when I watched them as a kid, I thought it was the greatest thing ever.
Right.
Now, The Others, that was a movie that I thought it was the greatest thing when I was a kid. Now, obviously it has a lot of, flaws, but I thought that the reveal at the end was just fantastic. These ghosts are just going on about their day, living their lives and not really being aware that they're dead, and they think that their house is haunted when in reality they're the ones doing the haunting. Now, would that be something similar happening in this book when you see these two characters who are ghosts, who are still fighting in the afterlife? Do they know that they're dead? Do they just keep going through the motions, or what's happening?
They're very aware of what happened and what's going down. I don't know how I can say it without ruining it either. No, they are very aware of it. One in particular kind of is the catalyst for this story to even happen, like from present day, because she's led to the cabin basically, and that's where she reawakens one of them. But again, by the time you read it, I mean, like, you'll understand exactly what I'm talking about. But they're aware. It's not that they don't know what's going on. They're aware, and they can't really reach out. The thing is that I think the tie from the bloodline, we'll say, is why Laura's even able to step up and change things or help things.
Absolutely, yeah. And like El Guapo says right here, we are all hoping that you get to the 25K, man. We definitely want that ash can,
Totally.
Among the first backers. So yeah, you still got time, right? Until what time is it that we can get the ash can?
The 19th.
Oh,
so yeah. I mean, like I said, we're still in our first 60 days. So that's the thing. It's the 19th is the end of that 60 days. I want to reward all the people who stepped up, supported this project from the get-go. That's why they're the ones who are going to be getting that free ash can as long as we hit that number. So that's why that's my special thank you to everyone who's backed thus far.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I got to say too, when I was a kid, Three Amigos was like one of my favorite movies. So El Guapo, dude, I love your your avatar.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man. All right. Yeah. So now we got into the part here where my wife wrote a couple questions for you, and they're all supposed to be weird and supposed to throw you off, just to find out more about yourself. All right.
Okay.
So let's see here. I'll just pick a random one here. What's the most childish thing that you still do?
Probably collect action figures. I still do because that's I worked in that industry, and yeah.
Okay, but do you open them? Do you unbox them, or do you keep them in the box?
Oh yeah, no, I unbox them and stuff too. Some of them I'll keep in package. Other ones I'll open. But yeah, it's.
Do you play with them?
No, I pose them and I fix them. I mean, I dig that kind of shit. But yeah, they're like the high. They're more of the high end stuff too. So I'm not doing it all the time.
That's so
I'll be
good.
in the poorhouse.
All right. So how about this one? What's the first thing you do if you woke up one day and you were the opposite sex?
What's the first thing?
You don't have to keep it PG here, right? We all know what we'll do, but other than that one thing, what else would you do?
Oh, you're assuming if you'd be really hot on top of it. Okay, if you're being really hot, then yeah, the obvious.
Vinny,
I don't know, jog. see what it's like.
that's a good one. All right, you want to ask him something since you wrote this list of questions?
I'm sorry, maybe it's my fault. But I just have so much fun when John asks me the question, so maybe you want to do it.
All right, sure.
I'm just having so much fun.
If you were to hold a world record, what would it be for?
World record. Fuck. Damn, that's a good question. That's so damn out of the blue. Wow, if I were to hold a world record, what would it be in? I don't know, man. You know what? To be one of the first artists / writers to get the most books out, period, in a career.
That was one of the things I was thinking, and also I think most time awake without sleep.
Probably, yeah. I'm trying not to do that because you'll die if you don't get enough sleep.
Oh, absolutely. But a lot of people don't know what goes into doing these books, right? Neither do I, because I just write them. But I can see how much work gets put behind it. And and it doesn't stop with finishing up the book, because people don't understand. You have to promote, and when you're done promoting, you have to promote some more. And if you have nothing to sell anymore, then you better be selling yourself.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Then you're gonna be putting out other stuff, and you know what I mean, other books, and of course you need to have an audience.
Yep.
Have a following.
Yeah, and like the whole shipping and printing process. I mean, I've had a back and forth with the printers for a bunch of times because the format has to change completely. I had to resize every single page just when I thought that I had things right. Then the cover needed to have another resize on it. There's so much back and forth that's been happening. My first proof copy, there was a mistake. They didn't put the gloss laminate. So then I had to go back, talk with them again. But luckily, they've been awesome about it. They even sent me, a couple of free copies, making sure I was extra happy. Because they know I have a huge order coming up, and that's a good amount of money they're going to get. But on top of that, then it's the packing, it's the shipping. There's a whole lot more that goes into this.
Yeah, absolutely. Tell me, has anybody ever cosplayed one of your characters?
Yeah, an ex at a convention as well. Yeah.
Oh wow!
Mm-hmm.
Now tell us about that.
God,
who was it?
She was pretty fantastic. Yeah, she dressed as Laura.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she didn't have the right shoes, but she was upset about that. After the convention, we found them. She's like, "Oh fuck!" But yeah, no, it was pretty cool. But she got a lot more attention when she dressed up as other characters from known properties during that convention, though, because a lot of people didn't know. Like, she was trying to help me push the books as well, which was good. Right. But yeah, no.
No, Vinny, you are well known for, especially going out to a lot of conventions, right? Yeah. So are you coming to the CG convention?
Yeah, as long as it's still happening, yeah, I'll be there. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And from what I understand, yeah, you're Orlando, so yeah, I could definitely do that.
Yeah. Are you buying at all into this whole scare with the coronavirus?
Yes and no. I mean, I have a lot of family that's in Italy, and it is very fucking serious. Over here, I don't think it's as dramatic as they're trying to make it. I think they're blowing it way out of proportion on purpose for money, stock, whatever, you know.
For sure. What a lot of people don't realize is that the coronavirus, it's not a new thing, and there's been many coronaviruses that have happened before. I, for one, had it when I was 16, and it was called the H1N1, because the coronavirus is just any virus that gets transmitted from one animal to a person.
Right.
And I'm fine, you know. So definitely, yeah, don't buy into the scare. It's all good. How about this question? Would you ever cosplay one of your own characters?
Possibly, but I don't know. I'm not really into doing that kind of thing. I've done like shit like that for like Halloween, but not my own characters. I mean, to do it at a convention, nah. I mean, not really. I have like a shirt that's similar. I have a shirt that's similar to the lumberjack, but other than that, no.
Would you make a good Laura Langley? I think.
Oh yeah. That goes back to the other question. If I woke up the other gender.
Oh,
all right.
I go for a jog through the woods.
All right. So, what location in the world are you least likely to visit?
Say that again.
What location in the world are you least likely to visit?
Iran. I don't know. I wouldn't go to any of those countries, no.
Have you ever had a backer from Middle East?
Yeah.
No.
Well, now for the chat, it's not Vinny, it's Connie. So, hey, Connie.
I'll tell you, Joe comes up with the best names ever.
No, but it comes from Guapo accidentally said.
Yeah, he had a typo.
Impeccable taste in movies, Connie.
Wow.
Love Connie. All right. Yeah, guys, so back through the woods, only 6 days left. I don't know what you're waiting for. Like, if you are at home, probably most people is at home now. You need some entertainment, and you will get some really good quality one if you back this one, okay?
Let's watch the trailer real quick. By the way, we have a couple of trailers to show you from this book. Actually, three of them, so a few, I should say. So let's watch the first one, and then is this the red? Yeah, this is Red Gates. This is my favorite one.
Yeah. This one gets you a little bit more of the story and what the book is about.
Absolutely. Let's watch it.
From Frankie and Vinny Tartamella comes Through the Woods, the collected edition. This edition compiles the 3-issue miniseries into one solid volume for fans of Through the Woods and newcomers alike. Written by Frankie Tartamella and fully illustrated and assembled by Vinny Tartamella, Through the Woods is an esoteric ghost story that will leave you haunted yet fulfilled. Follow investigative reporter Laura Langley as she unearths the tragic history of her newly inherited home and cabin in North Hudson, New York. This is a tale that started 100 years earlier, when this very land was a loggers' camp in the early 1900s. Laura's investigation finds her learning of her family's past and accidentally reawakens a restless spirit. Find out what else is haunting the pages of this completed series. If you missed the first campaign, this is the perfect chance to get your hands on this epic ghost story. This is the fable of an investigative journalist caught in the middle of a ghost story. A tale that started 100 years ago. Don't miss this second chance to take a midnight stroll through the woods.
Wonderful,
Nice.
wonderful trailer. I love it.
Beautiful.
Beautiful trailer.
Thank you, Red.
Yeah, you guys did an amazing job with that. I just want Red Gaze to one day come out and say, "What's in your wallet?" I just want him to do it. I just want him to do it.
I have a question for Vinny. Actually, like I was seeing the art, and there's a lot of expressions like of fear, of worrying, and like sometimes this is something I used to do. Not anymore, thankfully, but I used to do this when I was starting, and when I had to draw a certain expression, like I did that expression myself.
Mhm.
Do you do that?
Yeah, you can still do that. I mean, there's no problem whatsoever. Remember, whatever you're drawing, whatever, it comes from real life. So yeah, put an expression on your face. I think it's more than fine. A lot of artists, they even work with a mirror by their table when they're drawing.
At the very same time you're drawing, like, are you putting the face you're drawing? Because that's what I used to.
As I'm actually doing it, am I going like as I'm drawing? No, not necessarily.
Okay, if I take this a little farther, if you excuse me, Vinny, by this question, but this is actually like kind of a debate that is on the internet. I have been drawing, not say for work, for a long time, okay? Like these sexy pictures, like for, I don't know, I was commissioned for like, how do you call them? Like fan fiction, for fan fiction and stuff.
Okay.
So sometimes they were like very, very like, maybe. You're putting the video. Well, like this very sexy picture. You make me lose like what I'm saying. Baby.
My bad.
You know I struggle with the English. Come on.
Don't struggle with the English. Come on, you can do it.
Well,
You distracted her.
yeah, like the watchers from the video, they are so used to me forgetting what I was saying. Like that's just every day, and then freezing, like the screen freezes. But whatever. I was asking Vinny, because this is an actual debate on the internet, and I have been asked this very same question a lot of times, and I drew like some explicit pictures and things like very, very like for adults. And they asked me, like, not like this, but do you get a boner when drawing your own art, like your own sexy art? That would be the question.
Nope. No. The real thing does it for me, not artwork. Sorry. Sorry if I disappointed anybody on that, but yeah.
But the thing is that you can design that drawing like exactly how you want it to be, you know? So still no.
Yeah, no, I mean, no, I need a me or with me. Yeah, to to get excited off your own artwork. I don't know. That feels like it's another level of an ego or something. I don't know.
Yeah, but listen, there's people out there. You know, there's all kind. We don't judge. You know, everything goes. And along those lines, let's watch this trailer.
Back through the woods today on Indiegogo.
Like
So
that.
John, I got a question for you. Now, do you have a boner?
Do you have a boner, baby?
No, I don't think I'm allowed to right now.
But you know, actually, like I was with Sim streaming the other day. Look at this. Carla is a smart peddler, bad influence. Oh my! How can you say that, guapo?
Well, then hold on. Yeah, now I have that question for you. While you were drawing those things, were you getting excited?
Because I'm very disgusting, and yeah, hell yeah. I've been asked so many times. Like I have been drawing yaoi for a long time. Now I stopped. But yeah, I used to draw yaoi, and
By the way,
that's why they asked me.
For those of you who know Japanese, yaoi is like gay sex, all right?
But that's not yaoi, it's yaoi.
Or whatever.
And we girls like it because we like boys, and seeing a lot of boys, that's good. It's like the men look at two girls together, you know.
No, I didn't know that. Is that the same? Is that like the same way with you guys?
I guess, yeah. I don't know. I'm a little weird, but
Gross.
I told you guys, this is the boner stream. Everybody's allowed to get boners, but what
That's
I'm trying
hilarious.
to say is
Not
with
negative.
Sim, Sim told me this. Okay, it's not like it doesn't always have to be like a physical boner. It can be like a mental boner.
Damn, you're
or-
putting him, you're putting him on the spot, right? I hope he doesn't.
yeah, but he said it. He said it live, so that's
Oh,
why
alright,
I'm
alright.
saying it.
Yeah, no, I can understand what Sim's talking about. Yeah,
It's
you-
expression.
yeah. In your mind, you could have that excitement because like, all right, I'm getting this what I want on paper. It's what's in my mind. I'm putting it on the paper. Yeah, like I know what he means. So yeah, you could say that as well. But yeah, I mean, I know when I was a teenager, when I was looking at the reference to learn, anatomy and stuff like that. Yeah, of course. Yeah, if you've seen a naked chick like that, yeah, you're gonna get excited, especially if you're a teenager. A breeze could make you get a boner.
Yeah, I mean, snoozing can give you one. Tell me this: have you ever drawn a girlfriend of yours or someone? Were you ever, when you were drawing a sexy picture, were you ever thinking about someone in specific?
Yeah, that's happened. I've had girlfriends modeled for me as well. In
Oh, wow.
fact, one modeled for one of the pieces in Through the Woods. Let me find that page. I mean, if you guys really want to see it,
Yeah, of
I
course.
can't. I'm not going to show you the reference though. I'm a gentleman.
Of course we do.
That one.
Like the one in the bed here.
Oh yeah.
Ooh. What do you mean? Oh yeah, baby. What do you mean? Oh yeah?
Yeah, John, that was one of my girls.
Not that one. That is like you said.
Yes, that's just a picture.
That's just yeah.
I don't believe you guys. I don't believe you. Whatever.
So tell me, Vinny, what future projects could we be excited about for you?
Oh, yeah, my pirate book that's coming up. City of Venus 2. I have those in the works. I have another project I'm doing with my brother Frank. That it's a one-shot comic, so it'll be just essentially that one awesome story you guys will get to see and read and enjoy. That's very, very cinematic, I'd say as well. And yeah, I think you guys would really dig it. That project is like half pencil, to be honest. But it's one of the ones like I keep working in kind of I'll get like big chunks of stuff done and move on to another project, only because like either the freelance work I'm doing it gets in the way, or then when I sit back at my drawing table, I get another idea for doing something else, and it keeps it fresh as well. Like I was working on City of Venus while I was doing issue 3, I believe, of Through the Woods. Like I was working on things at the same time. So yeah, it's the way that I work has been kind of strange.
Oh, I hear you, but no, yeah, we definitely look forward to that.
Yeah.
We know that you definitely fulfill, and we know that your books are the best quality. So yeah, we definitely look forward to that.
Yeah.
I want to say hello to the chat, to Sim. By the way, Sim, my wife was talking shit about you earlier, telling us all how you get boners while you draw. And then he also says, "Hell, hermano and hermana." By the way, if you guys don't know Spanish, that means herpes. And then here,
That means brother and sister, you son of a bitch.
Oh shoot, I gotta catch up with my Spanish anyway.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was great, Vinny. I mean, we definitely enjoyed this. This was a great talk.
Yeah, totally. By the way, yeah, you do get a little preview page in the hardcover book of the next project. So
Oh,
yeah, there's a cool page of beautiful artwork you get to see in there. And yes, anyone who they were asking me a little while ago, Kelsey Shannon's piece is also in the actual big book as well. So yeah, he's in here in the cover gallery section.
Looking good.
Looking good.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's going to be the cover to the ash can, which again, I think it's going to be, just amazing. And I know you guys will really enjoy the hell out of that.
Yeah, it's looking awesome. Definitely looking awesome.
Yeah, that one's going to be, it's a 20-page ash can. Yeah, like I said, a lot of beautiful artwork from different CG guys, including Sim, Canales, Joe Ball, yeah, so we got a lot of good artists that are going to be part of that because they were part of that drawing stream. Doodle Bags, he's in there as well. So yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, guys, definitely Back Through the Woods. Great book out there. Let's help Vinny get to 25. All right, let's get him there, so that way we can get.
Do it, CG. Let's do it.
Ashkin, yeah.
That's right. There's only 6 days left. Remember that, 6 days to get in on that. I mean, because we're wrapping up that last 60 days. You know, anyone who backs now, we hit that number, that 25K number. You guys are going to get that free book added on top of everything else. So right now, you have a hardcover oversized book that's unlocked. You have a bookmark you're going to be getting on top of it as well. Also at 25K, I'm going to throw in an extra surprise gift that nobody knows about yet. So like I said, it's well worth it to jump in on this. I can't do stretch goals afterwards. I might stay in demand for a little bit of time, but again, while I'm in demand, if we hit 25K, like if we don't do it and it's going to roll over after that, you know, it's not going to happen. So that's what I'm saying. If you want it, you got to back it now.
Yeah, and you're gonna get it right away. So the wisest thing to do is to buy it right now.
Yeah, because the book is done. That's the thing. My campaign's different from a lot of other people's. A lot of other people, they'll put other stretch goals because they know if they keep it in demand, then they could add more as the number goes up. I can't do that because if I do that, I'm going to hurt my other backers who backed early on, right? If I fulfilled, and then I start to tack on more stuff, like those earlier people are going to be upset. So instead, I flipped it, and I'm rewarding them for the first 60 days. If you back within that time frame, boom, you know, free awesome gifts.
Absolutely, yeah. Look forward to this book. Definitely go back, you guys. It's still live on Indiegogo. You know, you only have 6 days left, so let's get them there. And while we're at it, we're gonna have to do some translations here because it's turned into a Spanish kind of live stream. We have Joe Frogo here who says, "Sim, you are the prettiest, and you are the sky of the morning." Then Delta says, "Greetings, the king of erections." So very a very posh way to talk right here. And then he, of course, says, "Thank you very much, herpes." Then we have Ja Ja Ja, and then "My library is dead." So,
but baby, you should say it in Spanish. You have such a sexy Colombian accent. Why don't you say it in Spanish and then you translate?
oh yeah, I guess that's a good idea. Mi biblioteca es muerta.
That's right. The way you roll the R's, it's important.
That is very important.
Oh, if I could say something else too, my first art book, I'm closing that campaign at the end of this month as well. So anyone who wants the Art of Vinny Volume 1, that's closing at the end of the month. City of Venus is staying open. Volume 2 is you know, exclusive to that. I might be moving the other one over, but I'm letting you know now that, yeah, before I start fulfillment on Through the Woods, I'm going to be closing out the art book Volume 1, just so everybody knows that.
That sounds great. We have those art books. We did a review. I think it was stream number 4. We are showing some of the pieces. Like, I don't know, I just want to hang in my wall each one of the pieces. They are all so detailed. Like, I just can't imagine the amount of time taken to do all these illustrations. So yeah, it's just amazing. You know, if Vinny did it, you have the guarantee that it's gonna be pure quality and that it's gonna come very well protected to your house. With your knife to open the envelope.
Well, it's not an envelope anymore. I do have the Gemini mailers, so anyone who backs the floppies, they're going to be getting it, you know, taped inside of a Gemini mailer, so it's secure. There's going to be no bends, no problems whatsoever. The art books are 52 pages each, so you're going to get beautiful, beautiful artwork. I have one of them in front of me here. This is the one that's that you get with City of Venus if you get the feature tier. Again, beautiful, beautiful artwork. Hot chicks. You get the nice glossy cover on this one. You get a lot of cool artwork. A lot. So, like I said, it's worth it. I mean, these are thick, big books.
Highly recommended, guys. We did get it as well, and yeah, and they look wonderful. I have a few of my own favorite ones that I didn't get to show, but I will be showing it in a later live stream because my wife has her favorites. I have my favorites. but we definitely enjoy your books. We definitely enjoy your content, brother, and I think you're very talented, and we look forward to seeing more from you.
Thank you so much. I mean, yeah, my brother and sister, they're wonderful people. So also back their project. Don't forget, Grim Reaper 2 is live right now.
Absolutely, yes. We have a few more days, so jump in it. We will go in demand, so yeah, definitely look forward to that as well. We have Joe Frogel here who says that he is hungry, so he needs a cat. A little bit of Chinese in him. And then Sim says hot.
Caliente.
I don't know what he's talking about, probably about Vinny himself and his projects. So yeah,
Who knows?
definitely go back him, guys. They're live on Indiegogo. This is a great creator here. The king of CG, I would dare to say, you know what I mean?
Oh, wow, you're too kind.
And yeah, so we have back this book. We look forward to getting it, and we recommend The Art of Vinny as well, because we did get those too. So yeah, he fulfills, he delivers, and his art is one of the top ones in CG without a doubt.
John, you could say it. Vinny satisfies.
Yeah. All right. So that's going to be it for today, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you to our wonderful guest, the Boner King himself, for coming.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody who tuned in and who's going to tune in on, on replays. I thank you so much. Like I said, these projects wouldn't happen without you guys. So, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Back through the woods.
Back through the woods, and also don't forget to check the Grim Reaper 2, who is in 12 days left. We have 12 days left, and yeah, check it out. And look at the yeah. I also like the whole experience. Like when Vinny shows you his books, he makes like the pages flip. He makes it sound. He does knock in the cover. Like it's a whole sensorial experience, you know?
And you look at those covers, right? They're like mirrors. You can see.
Look at this nice big book. The thickness of it. You guys are gonna enjoy this.
Absolutely. I love it. It's like look into a mirror. Let's get him to 25K, guys. Let's get him to 25K.
Yes.
And let's get us to 25K. Why not? 12 days left. Yeah. Why not? We can only dream. And it's been a lot of fun, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you very much to Delta Spurt Force, who says, long live your backsides. I guess that's what he meant.
No, I mean backers, maybe?
Oh, I guess that's what he meant.
Backsides.
Don't rely too much on Google Translate if you guys ever end up traveling anywhere in the world. It will not take you places. And of course, Sim, who says that he cannot wait to get them both. Thank you very much.
Yep. Thank you, Sim.
Thank you, everybody in the chat, and thank you very much, Vinny, again.
Yes.
And to anybody who catches this on the replay as well, this was John and Carla, and we are signing out.
Adiós. Gracias.
Ciao.